everybody, this is Carrie. I'm coming in today to talk to my RSD Warriors and survivors like me. This is an important video because I want to give you some insight into something I have recently just realized. My injury and the onset of this horrible disease took place in April of 2006. So I've had this a very long time. And I've had ups and downs, good and bad. And what I wanted to talk to you about today is what I did not do. And it is now coming back into my life, and it's something I have to deal with it. And that is the trauma that I experienced in this initial injury. As you know, with RSD, one of the things that happens is we get stuck in this immediate reaction, or this flight and fright mode. And that subsequently, goodness, I can't talk today, ends up causing the onset of this terrible disease that has now spread to both of my legs. I am facing a shoulder replacement surgery, which terrifies me because I run the risk of that invading that joint as well. And what I did not realize, I've had so many things happen in my life, especially since COVID, that have piled onto the trauma that I experienced from this injury. And what I have learned recently is that I had this initial trauma, and then I've had, since COVID, I had COVID, I had major weight loss surgery, my mother passed away, my husband has been extremely ill, I had 2 shoulder surgeries in the spring of this year, I lost my incredible best friend, my service dog, I had to take my mother's ashes back to Australia, and now I'm facing a shoulder replacement. And so all of these things have piled on top of an underlying trauma that I have never addressed. And I am emotionally struggling more than I have since 2007, 6 and 7, when I initially was injured and living on pain medication. But I never really addressed the trauma of this injury. Now it's coming back, and it's piling on top of all of these other things. And so I'm in a bad place. I am really struggling. And it took a specific event to make me understand that I can't do this on my own, and that I've got to go and find help. As we know, RSD is one of those diseases that there's a significant increase in depression, and that can lead to terrible things. And I have really never ever completely closed that book. And so what it has allowed, unfortunately, is this onslaught of everything else that I have had subsequent traumas that I have also not dealt with. So it kind of finally just all came crashing down. I've been very physically sick for a month, and it was by the grace of God that somebody actually said, you know, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting to keel over? Or are you going to do something about taking care of yourself physically and psychologically before you implode? And I had an epiphany And I knew at that very instant that this person was right. That I haven't been doing that. I've been thinking I've been doing it, but I really haven't been doing it. And it explains so many other things that I'm struggling with. Food, eating, sleep, fatigue, burnout, exhaustion, struggling in my businesses, just relationship is just an onslaught. And so I took the first step and I started to get some therapy. And that for me is a really big deal. A really big deal. You know, I've always been told and believed that I was a really strong individual and that I could just deal with it on my own and handle it and work through it and put your head down and work hard and, you know, that we get into, right? And I've realized that my gas tank's empty. I need some help to get it refueled, and I can't do that on my own. And I'm at that crossroads in my life at 62 that I have got to, because I just am physically and emotionally spent. So I've got to address all of them. I've got to go back and individually address each and every trauma, and so I can close the chapter on that and get myself better. It takes a lot to come in and admit, to look at yourself in the mirror and say, what are you waiting for? Why are you not addressing all of these things? Why aren't you taking care of yourself? That was really hard for me. And it made me really self-examine. So the message for you today is RSD can be a catalyst for a lot of things physically. It can also be a catalyst for a lot of things emotionally and psychologically. And if you've not addressed them, you need to. Because it doesn't go away. It just gets smothered by everything else. And then eventually it will raise its ugly head and say, okay, now it's my turn. Why haven't you addressed? Why haven't you resolved this? Why am I still here? I'm done. I need, it's time to get rid of it. So don't wait. Don't let yourself get to a point where you're near collapse like I did before you finally wake up and realize, okay, no, I can't do this on my own. It's okay to feel that way. Don't be embarrassed by it. Don't feel bad by it. Because life is hard. Just life in general is hard. And then when you compound that with a devastatingly destructive disease like this one, RSD, if you don't address it, it will come back in some way. It will metastasize to something, and then it will come back and it'll put you on your butt. I have learned that the hard way. Take my advice. If you haven't fully addressed the trauma of what has caused RSD in your life, please do it, because it will come back at some point. Mine now, this happened in 06, is now 24. That's a long time. But it is what started the onslaught of trauma that I have to deal with. Because that's the only way I'm going to get rid of all of these things that I'm coping with. And it's not going to fix itself. I have got to physically address the trauma so I can get my life back and start positively to move forward. I'm stuck. But I've taken the first step. And I hope this message, if you are watching it, inspires you to do the same thing. Life is hard, and it's okay to say, I need some help. I'm telling you, it's okay if that's what you're waiting for. And I really hope that you work on you so all of the other challenges in your life become easier and you can positively join every day and live it to the very fullest that you can. Get rid of all the baggage that so many of us don't really realize we have until the baggage nearly takes us out. God bless you. I hope you're doing well with your RSD, and I hope you have a good support network through your doctors and your loved ones. That is incredibly important, and I am so blessed to say that I do. Now I feel like I can finally start to close and get rid of these traumas that I'm dealing with in my life. So moving forward, I can have the best life I can possibly have. That's all we can ask for. God bless everybody. Keep fighting. You know, we are strong individuals. It's a tough disease, but we can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So stay strong. If you need help, just go find it. There is nothing wrong with it. And actually, it proves your strength by saying, I need some help. God bless everybody. Have a spectacular day wherever you are.